Nazca is a pretty good place to learn torso twist. It's also a good place if you're having big free-for-alls, because there are some things to hide behind, but then again, it's still fairly open. You've got to be careful if you're moving backwards of not slamming into a tower, because there are quite a lot of them.
Nazca, if you notice, the towers are set at evenly spaced intervals, and they do have a certain shape, so you can keep aware of where the next tower is sort of going to be, so you can avoid running into them and making yourself into a target.
Well, in heavy conditions, like either heavy fog or pea soup, in Badlands, it's good to put up the topographical map. If you torso twist, it is hard because you have to pay more attention to exactly which way you're facing. But if you know that, you can weave in and out and overcome your enemy.
I played in Badlands, especially in my prime, because at that in that scenario, I could still, if you're playing like least light fog, then I can still hit you at my maximum range, but I can still use the terrain to hide behind, especially since I have a slow recycle time. I get my shot off just before I get behind a rock formation or something like that, and then I try to hide in there while I'm waiting for my weapon to recycle.
You just have to take a good mech, one you can pilot. It really doesn't matter as long as you can pilot it well. That's all that really matters on Q-Ball. Because it's all up on your piloting, there's nothing to hide behind. Everyone else can see you no matter where you're at, unless you're completely out of range.
I like Q-Ball because it's a must-fight map. You can't hide. There's nowhere to hide. You're there, you have to fight. Because some people like to hide between buildings, and I really hate buildings because if you're running backwards, you run into buildings, and it's just too confusing. I don't like it. I just prefer Q-Ball. That way everyone has to fight and has to play.
If you learn to go in between buildings, that gives you 2 buildings to use as shields, and you only have to worry about behind you and directly in front of you.
Urbana tends to be cluttered unless you take the battle outside of town, which is usually a good idea. I think the first couple of drop zones are in the middle of town, which is good at the start of the fight because it gives you time to set up. It's difficult to fight in there, however, if you're moving backwards, if you're using torso twist, you're constantly running into things. So the tip I would give for that is to move the fight outside of town as soon as you can.